Welcome to Lesson 9 by Chess Achieves. In this lesson we're going to learn about a tactic called forks. Forks occur anytime one of your pieces is attacking two or more of your opponent's pieces. This is an attempt to gain a material advantage. A player should be looking for forks throughout the entire game. Every piece has the ability to fork his opponent in one way or another. So we're going to take some time now to look at different ways to fork your opponent with different pieces. In the example shown here, the white army is forking the black army with the pawn on the c4 square. That pawn is attacking both the knight and the rook. In this particular case, the black army can counter-attack to get out of the fork. The rook could simply move to the b1 square and create check, allowing the black army to have an additional turn to move its knight away. But still, seeking the fork was the right move for the white army on the previous turn. In this example, the white bishop has positioned itself attacking both the black rook and the black knight. In this example, the black army has no counter-attack and should try to save the rook in order to win the game. Just as a reminder, if the black army loses its rook, then neither army has enough material to win the game, and the game would be a draw. In this example, we have a particularly powerful attack. Not only are we attacking three different pieces, two rooks and one king, but because the king is under attack, that means he's in check. And the only way for the black army to get out of check in this example is to move his king. After the king moves, the white knight will capture one of the rooks in order to regain some material. It takes practice in order to be able to identify forks quickly. As a process to look for forks, you should consider each square that a piece can move to and ask yourself, will I be attacking two or more of my opponent's pieces if I move to this particular square? In the example shown here, we're projecting the lines out from the queen to all the possible squares the queen could move to. If we highlight the A6 square and consider this as an option for our queen, we see that it creates a fork between the black king and the black rook. The black army has a choice of moving the king to a square that's out of check or interposing the rook. But in either case, this fork will result in a win of material. If the rook interposes on the c6 square after the fork, then the queen will simply take it. If the king moves to any other square that's not under attack, the queen will simply take the rook on the square that it stands, c8. In the example shown here, it's the white army's turn. The white army has a number of squares to consider, but one of the squares will create a fork between the king and the rook. Can you find it? Hopefully that you see that moving the knight to the c6 square will attack both the black king and the black rook. In this example, because check is given as part of the fork, the black king has to get out of check. There's no way to interpose check against the knight, so the black king has to move in this particular example. When the black king moves, the white knight should capture the rook on the next turn. In this example, it's the white army's turn, and again, we're seeking the opportunity for a fork. Can you find a fork for the bishop? With any luck, you found the d6 square for the white bishop. When the bishop moves to the d6 square, it creates a fork between the king and the rook. After the king moves out of check, the white army should capture the black rook. Forks are a very powerful way to regain a material disadvantage or to get ahead of your opponent. Forks are one of the most common tactics used in order to gain a material advantage. Again, a fork is when one of your pieces is attacking two or more of your opponent's pieces. Your hope with a fork is to gain a material advantage. If you're attacking two or more pieces and your opponent is able to save one of them, hopefully you can capture the other one for a good material exchange. You should be looking for forks throughout the entire game. You have to use a process of elimination as you go through each piece and ask yourself, can I get a fork by moving this piece to one of its squares? Keep looking for forks every chance you get.